Welcome back everyone, my name is ShadowDragonios and welcome back to Dragon Talks, the place where I talk about games and their balance. For today's topic we have the core combat update for Honor. It's something that I wanted to talk about because it's something I feel the devs have done really well. A long while ago, like a couple of months ago, there was a testing grounds where you could test these new core combat changes for the first time. Well, the devs have gathered their data, have drawn some conclusions from it, and I think from what I can read from the notes, the changes are pretty good. One of the things that interests me most about the changes is the stamina update. A lot of attacks and parries will have their stamina penalty removed, so that this encourages more attacks and kind of allows you to attack more than you would usually do. Like let's say I'm a raider main, as you might know, and one of the biggest problems with raider is his stamina. I can only do so many feints and so many attacks before I go out of stamina, and that is fairly quicker than most other heroes. And that is annoying. I need to back up, regain my stamina, and then wait to be able to attack again. You could say this is more of a character specific problem, but I think this would go well over the entire roster. Just to be able to attack more and keep the aggression going will keep the, well, mostly duels from going into a staring fest waiting for both our staminas to regen. Now you could also say this affects stamina bullies a lot, like Jormungandr or Centurion or Gladiator. And while yes, this is true, I think this is a worthwhile sacrifice in the long run, because while these characters kind of lose their more stamina draining pressure, their out of stamina pressure will still be intense, and when the opponent goes out of stamina and you get them, I feel like it's gonna be more satisfying. Now on to the next part, the problems regarding light spam. I personally have had an issue with light spam for the longest time. But the thing is, there's only so much you can do with heavies. So I was usually always able to kinda forgive light spam as long as it was used alongside other moves. But I think they fixed a lot of the issues people have with light spam. Like you can dodge out of a light chain, which is great. You have frame advantage on most people when they do their light chain finisher, which allows you to, you know, initiate your own light chain. And yeah, they also did, I think it was a 100 ms hidden guard thing, which kinda goes against their anti light spam premise. You can hear me being confused the more I think about it. The thing is, they want to counter light spam, but they also want to make lights a viable offense. And while I don't think it's bad, a light offense, it's especially weird. Like they nerfed Orochi's lights. They gave him a top heavy and blockable as compensation, but he lost those fast lights. which kind of contradicts their entire, a plan of making lights way more viable and making them so they are to be less countered, so people aren't afraid to attack. But it's around the light spam. Yeah, as I said before, you can kind of hear me being confused. It's a weird subject. I think they're doing it really well, and I'm just not explaining it well enough. But I think the direction they're going with is great. I love that you can dodge out of light chains and that you have frame advantage on them. Which actually also brings me back to the stamina problem. Light, especially light chains, will cost a lot more stamina now. Which, in my opinion, is great. You might be a little weirded out, as I just said, lights were a viable offense, but constantly spamming them in a row is not fun for anyone. And I think making their stamina cost increase while the rest of stamina decrease, stamina penalties, excuse me, have been reduced. I think this is a great way to get people to use heavies more and other tricks instead of, the whole time those lights. Another point would be, actually, speaking about light chains and light spam, their damage. I don't know exactly how the damage has been adjusted, as they have not released that yet. But what we do know is that heavy damage will stay on the higher side, and lights, especially chain lights, will do less damage. Which I don't know exactly how to think about this. From one side it's great because they're trying to make lights a more viable source of damage, and from the other side they're also nerfing it, making it less useful again. And I am no game designer, so I wouldn't know how it worked, but I feel as though they should not decrease light damage all too much. Yeah, it'll keep some people on Reddit that are angry about Orochi happy, but in higher play, where you just kinda have to rely on your lights and counters to win, it's a real problem. Another topic. Yes, a whole new different topic. Let me quickly read the notes. Ah, yes, the timings. They removed the first 100 ms of an attack indicator, which is to counter people with latency, which, in my opinion, is one of my favorite updates. My absolute favorite one will still be the stamina decrease, but I can't believe I almost forgot to tell this. Fighting people with latency can be a hell of a chore. You barely see where their attacks are coming from. You get those really weird instant lights and heavies. And by removing the first 100 ms of an attack indicator, this will, unless people go to 200 ms of a latency, this will be almost unnoticeable, which is so great. It's gonna remove so many frustrations of fighting laggers or lag switchers, and I just think the devs did a really good job thinking this out. My one problem is though is that they say latency can only go up to 100 ms, and that's the only problem, which is just not true. I have fought people with 300 to 400 ms, and they are just either they eat all my attacks or they're unkillable. So I think they didn't really take into account the people with higher latency, but people with 200 to 300 ms rarely are around, so I wouldn't say I really cared. But my overall thoughts on the core combat update is that it's great. I think it's really gonna change how the game plays and how people play it. And I think I personally would have to kind of learn some timings again, kind of relearn my punishes, what's going to be optimal. I don't think it's going to be too hard to get used to, but it is going to take some practice again and figuring out if the max punish for character A would still be punish A and not B. You never know. But I will let you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I somehow got off a 4v1 in this one. We were almost losing it here, but I promise you, we're getting that beautiful comeback, especially this guy right here. Pay attention to him. But up until next time, I've been ShadowDragonios, and I'll see you guys next time.